It is Friday, which means it is time for another one of my $1 Million Journey episodes. Where are we at right now? There it is, $739,000. 28 years old, debt-free, $739,000. I am on a warpath. Warpath, baby, that's what I am on. $261,000 away from that $1 million mark. Bare minimum, I think I should be getting there by the time I'm 32 years old. I mean, that's bare minimum. Hopefully sooner, I can start to think about buying a house or something, having some kids. I really want to cross that $1 million mark before I start having kids. Just get all of that money in the market. Never even have to really worry about investing again. And then I have some kids. So that's kind of my idea, but feels good. This isn't an all-time high. All-time high on here, I think, was $751,000, $750,000. So we're down just a little bit. I do want to look at my portfolio here so we can see there's the $739,000 pulling this up in the brokerage account. We got the 1 month change, $17,345, 2.45%. No, just 2.4%. Didn't even add any money to that. Day change down $533. But here's what was wild was last Friday we were at $749,000, and then on that Friday, the market opened up, went down by over 3%. We dropped to $724,000. So now we're slowly working our way back up here. We're hanging out there at $724,000. But, you know, I'm buy and hold investor. I'm a DCA guy. I'm thinking 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the line here. Don't really care. I don't care at all. What I do care about, though, is what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Looking at the weather, I'm down here in southern Chile in Patagonia. It is going to be 72 degrees this weekend. Coming out of winter, I'm already in my short sleeves. Oh yeah, baby. Pulling out the guns for the gun show. I'm excited for all my Southern Hemisphere friends out there. I know I got one. I got Tom coming from Australia. He left me a nice comment saying greetings from Australia. I can't believe I have people listening to me from Australia. Pretty wild. But Tom, you know how it is. We're down here in the Southern Hemisphere. Summer's coming up. What am I going to go do this week? I'm thinking about going to the beach, one of the lakes. I'm down in a very mountainous region. Maybe I'll go whitewater rafting. There's a lot of very turbulent whitewater rivers. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I haven't gone rafting in a while. I might go rafting this weekend. We got Notre Dame versus USC football, baby. Go Irish. This is setting up to be a pretty good one. Big Notre Dame fan. If you don't like the Irish, just leave the video right now. So got a lot of stuff. This weekend. Got to be on budget this weekend. Be very conscious about how I'm spending my money. And yeah, so if you've been around for a while, you know what we're working with around here. We're working with a $5,000 budget. I'm going to pull up my budget right now. So going over to Google Sheets, I'm a sheet guy, or Microsoft Excel, we can use that. I'm not big on those budgeting apps. So pulling it up, going over to the far right category here. And before we jump into this, why is this so important to go through my budget? Well, for me, I got to do my budget. For you to go through my budget, maybe you learn something. But for me to go through the budget every single day, I go through my budget every day and update what I'm spending my money on. This is how people build wealth in America. There were over 379,000 new millionaires in America last year. 70% of them were self-made. And it's because they know how to control their money. And if you don't know what's coming in and out of your bank account all the time, you will never become a millionaire because money will just come into your life and float away. You'll never manage it. It will manage you. So this is the most important thing, the number one step that everyone needs to take to building a budget. And this is why I go over this every single week. Not just to show you how much money I'm going up in my own brokerage account, but to show you like the foundation of really building wealth is going through your budget. So I'm breaking down my budget here. My budgets go from Fridays to Thursdays. So this goes from last Friday, October 10th, to yesterday, Thursday, October 16th. I'm working with a $5,000 salary between my wife and I. She does most of the heavy lifting, but yeah, we're both bringing in a little bit of money. So it does fluctuate a little bit. We got some commission coming in. So normally it fluctuates more for the upper end. Maybe we'll bring in $5,500 a month sometimes, but I just budget $5,000 a month. I give every single dollar name. So for the month, we got groceries coming in at $1,100 a month, lifestyle maintenance $400 a month, experiences and discretionary $800 a month, fixed expenses $700 a month, rent, we try not to spend more than $1,300 a month. We're living out of Airbnbs and it does fluctuate. And then we're investing $700 a month, which is 14%. We're trying to invest more than that, but that's just where we're at right now. And that comes in at $5,000. So every single one of our dollars that we are bringing in for the month has a name on it. We control our money. It does not control us. So where was I at for this past week? I'm gonna go over to the left side of my budget here on this little sheet, and we should see, this is how much I'm spending, or how much I should be spending every single week for things. So I got groceries coming at $275. For the week, I spent exactly $275 on the dot. Lifestyle maintenance coming in at $100 a week. That's how much I should be spending every week. I spent $100 on the dot. Experiences and discretionary come in. I should be spending more than $200 for the week. I spent $200 on the dot. My fixed expenses are in at $175. I spent $212.26. So I did really good on all the other categories. I did have to cook the books a little bit. Whenever I break open the entire sheet here, I'll show you what I did to fudge some of the numbers. I pulled an Enron over here to make sure I was on budget, except for these fixed expenses. But on the total monthly spend, we're still doing really good right now. I mean, it's the 17th of October, and so far this month, we've only spent $319 on groceries. We're looking at $1,100 a month budgeted. We should be coming in way under there for the month. Lifestyle maintenance, same thing. We've only spent $133 out of $400 budgeted. We're halfway through the month. We're doing pretty good. Experiences and discretionary, this one looks insane because we only budget for $800 a month. We've spent $1,700, but we did carry money over from last month to this month. These were expected expenses. We're applying for a tourist visa, this 2-year visa here in Chile. We knew we'd be spending about $1,400, $1,500, maybe even $2,000 a month. Not a month, but this month on a lawyer to get this visa. Ended up being about $1,500. So we carried this money over, so it's not really that bad. We're not really over. We've been planning for this. Our fixed expenses are at $354 for the month out of $700, and our rent hasn't been due yet. We haven't paid it yet, but Airbnb's payment schedule is showing $1,083, and we have $1,300 budgeted. So everything's actually really good so far this month. And whenever I look at the amount that we have to invest, basically it works like this. We know we're getting $5,000 at the end of the month. And then I also, down here in a second category in my bracket, I can see how much money I have in my checking account, which is $3,086 in the bank. I started this month with $5,476 in the bank. Like I mentioned, we knew we were going to be pulling money over to this month. So we've already spent down a little over $2,000 of it. A lot of that going in from that lawyer fee that we had. So we do have $3,086 in the bank. We're expecting an additional $5,000. If we add that up, that's $8,000. I also know that I'm going to have upcoming expenses for this Airbnb I'm sharing with some friends in December on vacation over the holidays. And I have this drone I have to get repaired. So that's going to be $747 in upcoming expenses. So what I do right here is in this investment category, it shows that if the month were to end right now, based on the money I have in my checking account and the $5,000 that I have, I could invest $3,670. And that's after we exclude all the other expenses, because I've already spent $3,668. So $5,000 plus $3,086 minus upcoming expenses of $747 minus the $3,668 I've already spent this month would give me a total of $3,670. That's where I could be right now for this month if the month were to just end today, which it's not. We're only halfway through the month. So we're still pretty good though. I mean, I think maybe we'll spend another $1,500. I don't know. We'll see what comes up here. But yeah, the month's going on pretty good. So breaking down what I've spent all of my money on. What is Jacob and Pauli spending their money on? Let's open it up. We're going into the spreadsheet. Spreadsheet warriors, unite! Here we are. So we spent $275 at the supermarket this week. And it was actually a lot more than $275. I'm looking at this grocery category. It says $275. And then in my lifestyle maintenance, it also shows $91.73. And I wrote supermarket runoff. So if I add up how much we actually spent at the supermarket this past week, it was $366. And it sounds like a lot, but I'm looking at last week, and we only spent $44 at the supermarket last week because we were in this weird limbo with family visiting, and they paid for a lot of food, and then we also had like a fully stocked freezer, so we didn't have to spend much money on food. So I had to like go buy paper towels and cleaning supplies and food and stock up on everything, which put our supermarket expense way over this month. Or sorry, not this month, this week. And the rest of that $91, I just moved over to my lifestyle maintenance. And then whenever we look at lifestyle maintenance, I'm hitting the dot on $100 a month. So like, I'm still just trying to hit my numbers in these categories. It's okay if you go over in one category and then just move that expense over to another category. I could have put it in my experiences category. And if I'd have put $91 into my experience category, I would just say like, I have $91 less to go out with this week. I can't go buy takeout pizza or go rafting or do whatever it is I want to do. I mentioned last week that I'm doing this Sober October this month, and that was going to help me reduce my supermarket spend. And I found these videos because what prompted me to do the Sober October was Pally went out of town, and I watched football all week at the end of September. And I went to the store, I picked up 6 Heinekens, a 6-pack. I even drank another one. Like I bought a separate beer that I drank by itself. So 7 beers, picked up a wine, some Parmesan cheese, some steak, cooked it all up by myself. I drank and ate every single last bit of that. And I felt so awful the next day. It was like September 29th or something. I was like, I'm going to do Sober October. I'm going to do Sober October. And so I've now been sober for 16 days. But it's helping with the budget. I feel good. So yeah, I do expect to still save a little bit more money this month. Not just because we only spent $44 this past last week or 2 weeks ago on groceries, but the rest of the month I shouldn't be buying alcohol. And alcohol is kind of expensive, but we all know that. Now getting into the lifestyle maintenance, again, these are just like random things. Ibuprofen, we had to spend $526. We had that supermarket runoff of $91.73. And then car insurance, it says $3.01. The car insurance is actually over in the fixed expense category, but I just was trying to fill up all of this bracket in my lifestyle maintenance because I still had an additional like $3 to put in here. So like, I'll just move $3 of car insurance over here to hit this bracket and try to get the fixed expense bracket down a little bit. Now, experiences and discretionary, where we spend $200 a week, $800 a month. This is the fun stuff. And I love to spend money. I don't just hoard money to watch a number grow in my bank account. We like to spend money over here. And we did exactly that. We got some lawn chairs, and this is going to sound like the most old person thing, but we got some lawn chairs to go out to the lake. We take them out to the lake and hang out with Lana, our German Shepherd. And we just like to sit out there. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're becoming old people. Like, I know I look old, but I'm not old. And now I'm actually starting to feel old, like taking lawn chairs to the lake. But we spent $48.67 on some lawn chairs. We also got some churros. I can never roll the R on those. Churros. Kind of, I'm failing. But we spent $48.67 in total on that. Then we went to some geothermic hot springs. This is going to be like the sad thing of moving from winter to summer. I love the hot springs. They are so peaceful. They are so relaxing. They're so nice, but it's going to be too hot. I mean, 80 degrees sitting in hot geothermic water doesn't sound appealing. That's when I'm going to be hitting the rafting, the kayaking, but we did that this past weekend, going to $72.91. I also put in this car insurance, $42.09, still moving it over from the fixed expenses. We end up spending about $200 in total on car insurance, but we'll get there. Pally has this implant, so we had this emergency dentist run. We only really spent $48, $72 on fun stuff, so that's only $121. The other two things in this experience and discretionary category was Pally had this implant that was coming loose, like this tooth right here in her mouth, and she had to go to the dentist late notice, like I think the day she called, they let her come in, and just to tighten up this implant in her mouth. And it was $36.33. Now mind you, we have no dental insurance. I actually have no insurance of any kind, probably immature, probably irresponsible. I got no excuse for it. But I have been saving a few $100, a little bit more than a few $100 a month. I haven't had insurance since like July. Hence why I haven't gone skiing this winter. Probably should get some insurance before I go skiing. Anyways, Pally went to the dentist to just make this implant tighter. Emergency dentist run. It was only $36, paid for out of pocket. I love living in South America. I mean, it's so cheap on some things. Like going to the dentist, $36 out of pocket to screw in an implant. Not bad at all. All right, now our last category, we got fixed expenses. This is where we spent $212. We were over budget on this. I'm actually going to make this red here. We had this Epidemic Sound subscription where this is turning into one of these subscriptions we never used, but we continue paying. It was $9.06. Pally uses it to make these vlogs, but I don't want her to hear me, but she hasn't made a vlog in like a month. So I think she's giving up on it. I don't want to say anything about it though, but now we're just wasting $9 a month on a subscription. All right, and then we had our maid come in for $37.12. She comes once a week. She's the best. Veronica, I love you. And then we had our car insurance. That was at $156.08. And again, South America living. This was car insurance of $200, and we pay this like every 6 months. So, yeah. Laundry was $10. We had that laundry come in. I think next week on the October 18th, I think that's whenever my Airbnb payment comes in for $1,083. But I already have it budgeted, so it's all right. We got the money in the bank. You saw we have already $3,000 in the bank. I always plan ahead. Like, I always know all of my expenses. Like, my credit card is due on the 21st or the 18th, something like that. And I always plan ahead for the upcoming month, knowing that I'm going to have all these expenses the 18th or the 21st, knowing how much money is going to be on my credit card. And that's why I always carry the money over from the month before to the upcoming month. And I'll show you how I do that, but at the end of this month. But that was it. That was my budget. You know exactly where I'm sitting at right now. Yeah, we got a net worth, $739,000, an emergency fund of $16,433, that checking account, $3,086, in USD greenbacks, baby, $2,350, just sitting on my arse. I guess my arse is sitting on top of those greenbacks, but it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be so lovely. I'm going to be sitting back, relaxed, enjoying my financial peace, my financial freedom, enjoying the 72 degrees out there. I always get the Zac Brown band song in my head. Got my toes in the water, ass in the sand, not a worry, cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. All right, I'm going to stop embarrassing myself, but it's going to be a good weekend. I hope you have a good weekend too. Leave me a comment, man. Come on, folks. Leave me some good comments down there. We need it for the algorithm. Give me that thumbs up. Be sure to stay on your budget. Send me any questions you may have. I'm also doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Money with Jacob, every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Write me your questions at jacobbuildswealth@gmail.com. Go check out that channel. I am answering all of your money questions as if they were my own. So I'm excited to be seeing you both on these $1 Million Journey videos and then also on the twice weekly Money with Jacob videos. So that is it. Have a good weekend. I will see you next Friday.